heartbroken. I mean,
we want somebody to tell us where she is.
This is a calm street. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, we have 2 city workers that live on the end. I mean, somebody saw something.
Really sad that we can't let our children outside to play anymore. We can't let kids be kids. I mean, we moved to a neighborhood that's incredibly safe. Everybody knows everybody. 2,000 people live in the town, yet this 3-year-old girl out riding her little bicycle with her little training wheels is now missing. And it brings me to my question of the day. At what age do you feel comfortable allowing your kids to play outside? What is that number? Joining me tonight in New York City, Brett Singer, a columnist at daddytips.com. And in Atlanta, HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks. Thank you both. Mike, let me start with you with a couple of the clues that have come in this case. First of all, her bicycle. She was out riding her bicycle. We have a picture of that bicycle. Let's put that up on the screen for the folks to see. It's a bicycle just like that, Mike. And what they apparently recovered about 2.5 miles from the home were a pair of training wheels. Let's take a closer look at those training wheels. Okay? Pretty unique on this bike. Looks like they're all white.
Yeah.
What kind of information are we going to be able to gather from that, Mike?
Well, they found one training wheel on Tuesday, another one on Wednesday. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can get from that. If somebody had handled that bike, picked it up, you can get DNA off of that, fingerprint evidence, and also any kind of hairs, fibers that was inside of a van, inside of a car, inside of a truck. These things will be picked up by the training wheels, possibly. So they're sending them off to the lab to be analyzed to see if they are the training wheels that came off of her bike. They're also going to look to see if there's any registered sex offenders within that area. And they'll go out there physically and interview these people to see where were you at the time of the disappearance on Saturday. And these are just some of the things they're doing. But you've got the FBI involved along with the local law enforcement. Right now, a $45,000 reward. And there's also a possible vehicle. They're talking about a white cargo van that may or may not have a ladder on the back of the van. Apparently that was seen a number of days before she disappeared in that neighborhood. But you heard what Mr. Rodriguez said, Vinny.
It's a van like that.
It's a van like that. And it's a close-knit neighborhood. Everybody knows everybody else.
And it's a dead-end street, one way in, one way out. I want you to take a look at the missing poster that they've posted for this young girl, Breeann Rodriguez, last seen August 6th. In Zenith, Missouri, as Mike said, $45,000 tip. Also the phone number, 866-371-TIPS. 866-371-TIPS. All right, Brett, you're a dad, I'm a dad.
Yep, no, this is every parent's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
At what age should we allow our children to be children the way I was? I remember summers down on Long Beach Island.
And it depends on where you live, and it depends. This is something that I think a lot of parents forget. It depends on the kid. Not every kid is ready at the exact same age. Sometimes the kid is ready a little bit younger. Sometimes they're not ready for the responsibility of even just crossing the street. I mean, I grew up in a much worse neighborhood than the one I live in now. I played red light, green light in front until it got dark. My mom leaned out the window. She said, "Hey, come on inside." I'm not letting my kids out at the same age that I was.
Yeah,
so
the world's changed, and I guess the place has changed. Yeah, you bring up memories from me. I remember we're going outside playing flashlight tag. And we're waiting to go until it gets dark to go outside and play. Let's go to the phone line tonight. Tim's in Arkansas tonight. Tim, what are your thoughts on this issue of when do we allow our children to be children and just go outside and play?
Well, I believe the right age to be approximately about 10 years of age. But agreeing with your people on the set there, too, as well, that it depends upon where you live and as well as the surroundings, depending if you got a fenced-in yard, whether you're on a county road, that type of thing.
Yeah, and you talk about county road, that's access in and out of your neighborhood very, very quickly. The one thing about this case that struck me is that it's a dead-end street, 2,000 people in the town, and, it would seem like such an odd place for something like this to take place. But ultimately, Mike Brooks, the lesson we learn over and over again, I guess there are no odd places. I mean, they went into Elizabeth Smart's bedroom, which was the nicest of nice neighborhoods. There weren't neighbors anywhere near there, and end up inside the house. Same thing happens here. Let me tell you what the folks are saying on Twitter tonight. Brooklyn Girl in the ATL tweets, I allow my 10-year-old to play outside, and that's what Tim in Arkansas says, but I am not comfortable. I will never be comfortable with my kids out in this scary world. Jackie Attacky tweets, alone, 15. We live in an enclosed area, and my son can't even take out the trash without me breathing down his little neck. Sweet
15?
Face 35, 15.
I don't know. At some point, the kid's going to knock you down and say, I'm going out by myself.
Sweet Face 35 says, my girls are 11 and 13. I still don't let them play outside alone. You never know. Age doesn't matter to predators. That's true. Classic Silver tweets, wonder if there can be some kind of tracking device kids can wear. Find them in a New York second. That's interesting, and that does exist, doesn't it, Mike? Some sort of locating chip that you can put in a sneaker or in a backpack. And
it gets to be like Blade Runner, though. Suddenly, we're chipping our children because we're so afraid. I mean, there's got to be a balance between. You have to. Yes, the world has gotten a little more dangerous, and I think we've also gotten a little bit too overprotective at times. There are times when if a kid's not, sometimes a kid's not prepared to be on their own because you've kept them too close.
I was just going to say that if at some point you don't allow that child to be a child, then the child can never get to that next level. I mean, you're gonna guard them until they have a driver's license, then boom, they're out with the car, and they've never had that experience. So it's a balancing test. And I guess it comes down to communication, knowing your child, knowing your neighborhood, but. It's no one's fault except the person who grabbed this little girl, ultimately. Mike Brooks, thank you so much. Brett Singer, great to have you on the program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.